Right, so how to write a good Facebook ad that gets noticed quickly, stops the scroll, and I'm going to show you the three elements you must have if you want to give your Facebook ads and your creative strategy the highest chance of stopping a user, getting them to click on your ad and make a purchase in your sales funnel. Right, so I found this ad the other day and I love this ad. And like any good meta ad, it has three things that are working for it. So it has a scroll stopping image, right? It has a good headline, and it has really good body text, right? So you got to remember now, this ad, if you look at it, like this is basically all you see in your Facebook feed. So just this very short, small, concise amount of information is all you have to get someone to stop and make a purchase, right? So you have to be very deliberate in your creative choices, right? So what I want to break down right now are the images, the headline, and the body copy. So I think the first thing, the way we read these ads when you're scrolling through your feed is you'll see the image first, then your eye will go back to the headline quickly. So you'll check out the image, check out the headline, and then go back to the image and then read the body text, right? That's generally how I read them. I think that's kind of the pattern. It may vary a little bit, but that's generally like what works, right? So scroll stopping image, number one. This image is very disruptive because it's a medical image. It's black and white, and it is it is an X-ray, right? So it is a kind of a graphic. It's almost a graphic image, right, of a body part, and it's the back, right? So you can kind of tell it's you got the spine running down here, whatever, and it's got the different vertebrae listed. So really a scroll stopping image, and if you actually look, it's like on a doctor's computer, right? So it's almost like someone's showing you an X-ray. That's the first thing, right? So if you're a person with back pain, you're immediately gonna get, this image is gonna grab your attention, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is the headline, right? And so this headline, like if you're not writing direct response headlines here, you're just wasting money, in my opinion, right? There is no room for creative copy. There is no room for fluffy copy, half-hearted copy, half-witted copy, right? You need direct response copy, right? And so what is direct response copy? Well, this is direct response copy. This headline makes a promise, right? So it makes a promise. It says 3 ways to get sciatica pain relief, right? So first thing it's doing is it's making a direct promise, right? So there's levels of promises. There's direct, there's big promises, there's direct promises, and then there's like little promises, and then there's like implied promises. So I would call this like a direct promise, right? A big promise would be how to heal your sciatica pain forever, right? That's a big promise. This is a direct promise, right? 3 ways to get sciatica pain relief. First thing it's doing, making a promise. Second thing it's doing, calling out the audience, right? And the pain that the audience is feeling, right? Sciatica pain relief, right? Okay, so right there, you got a promise and you got audience identification. Now, where this ad really nails its creative is in the first line of the body copy, and I'll tell you why. Because right now, what's working really well on Meta are ads that use authority, okay? So that means I'm a doctor, I'm a podiatrist, right? I'm an ex-neurosurgeon, whatever, right? Those ads, when you are either using the first-person narrator as an authority, or you're using a first-person narrator who knows something from an authority, who might be a friend or a family member, those ads are working, and they're working like crazy right now. And so this ad really nails it because it says, I've been a surgical nurse for 20 years. What I'm about to tell you, a spine surgeon once, blah, 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 told me, right? So this ad actually it layers the authority, right? First, it's I'm a surgical nurse for 20 years. So surgical nurse, right? That's a specialized profession. 20 years, that's enough time to be an expert in what you do, right? and she's learning a secret from a spine surgeon, right? And it makes sense because it's like she's a nurse learning from a spine surgeon, right? So that's like a direct path for like authentic, real communication. It kind of reminds me of this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm I watched last night where it was like, oh yeah, Wanda Sykes came in and she told Larry that her cousin works at the CIA and that there was going to be a terrorist attack in Los Angeles. And so Larry's all freaked out, right? But that's kind of how it works. There's like a chain, communication chain from like a real authority to like a secondary authority, right? Primary authority and secondary authority, right? So the combination of these three things, right? Basically that scroll stopping image, the promise, headline, and that very first line, I've been a surgical nurse for 20 years. That is proof. That is authority, right? Even if it's not true. But those three elements working together, when you are on your phone, in a split second, I have to grab you, like the boom, boom, boom. Those three elements work together, right? So your goal as either a brand owner or a creative strategist or even a copywriter, right? Your goal is really to be getting those three images to work together. So, if you're a copywriter, like really your job, in my opinion, is like you got to be creating these visuals, right? Because the way Meta works, the way Andromeda works, like if you're not guiding the visual, like your copy is kind of reliant on whatever they throw up there. So you really need to be planning this ecosystem of imagery, promises, and then authority, okay? So like I said, I found this ad the other day. I really love what they did here. It's been running for 46 days. So if you know about advertising, you know that Andromeda is not going to spend money on your ad, right? If it's not working, if it's not getting results, right? It's just going to die. And brand isn't going to pump money into an ad for a month and a half if there's not a return on ad spend. So this ad is probably profitable. But like I said, this does all three of things right. This is something to aspire to. And this is my quick lesson for today. And I hope you found it useful.